Hello, and welcome to the Invasive Species Unit. Let me show you around. In this unit, students will be investigating invasive species and their impact on the environment, as well as methods that are used to control the species. In this unit, students will be researching the role of invasive species in the environment, and specifically invasive species in Missouri. The project will culminate in the students producing a report in the form of a poster or infographic about one particular Missouri invasive species. In this process, they will research various species that affect Missouri, will choose one particular species, and produce a poster to share information with members of their class. Let me share the course and unit level outcomes. The overarching course level outcomes related to this particular unit include learners being able to analyze and identify interdependent relationships within an ecosystem, and learners being able to analyze and identify the role of various anthropomorphic changes on an ecosystem. For this particular unit, learners will be able to define and provide examples of invasive species. Learners will be able to explain methods of introduction of invasive species. Learners will describe impacts of invasive species on ecosystems. Learners will describe and evaluate various methods to prevent the introduction and spread of invasive species. And learners will describe and evaluate various methods for mitigation of the impact of invasive species. This process will begin with students conducting some general research on invasive species. In conducting the research, students will be answering a series of questions that they will submit to the instructor for evaluation. To assist students in the research project, they are provided with background research information. This includes background videos as well as research links. Students are provided with a selection of videos with background information on invasive species. Students are also provided with invasive species research links so they're able to collect information, quality sources. Students are then able to use this information to complete the question assignments in the general research. This work is submitted to the instructor, and I return corrected work to students so they can continue in their learning about invasive species. Students also complete an Edpuzzle assignment in which they watch a film that has embedded questions within the film. In the assignments, students will continue from general information to Missouri specific information. After collecting this information, they will also be choosing an individual Missouri species and giving some specific information that they find. In this process, they need to maintain a bibliography list so they can cite the sources Once the students have chosen their Missouri invasive species, I'm asking them to create a quick post to share with their classmates which species they have chosen and briefly describe how that species arrived in Missouri. The project culminates in students producing an invasive species wanted poster. The poster or infographic requires students to provide specific information about their species and about its impact on the environment. Students are also provided with a rubric to help them ensure they meet all the required points. Returning to the course basics, students are able to access information about technological assistance if needed, as well as information to access web accessibility guidelines and address web accessibility issues. Once students have completed their invasive species posters, I will combine their posters into a virtual gallery walk. This is not complete with student work, but come on in, I'll show you around. There will be multiple rooms in the gallery. And within each room, we'll have a plinth with an image from their poster. I have a sample one here. So students will be able to click into their classmates' posters and see what they have produced, read about this. Then students may return to the gallery room, and I ask them to leave a comment for their classmates. They will rank the poster, describe something they liked, and pose a question for their classmates. The comment tabs below the images are linked to a Google form. The Google Forms responses are sent to me and to the student who made the poster. Students can then leave that exhibit room and continue to other exhibit rooms and eventually to the exit, which takes them back to the beginning of our gallery. Thank you for visiting the invasive species unit. I hope you enjoyed it and found some useful information here. Thanks again. And remember, living organisms are probably best left where they have evolved.